Hello and welcome back to Artisanal Electrics. Jordan here, thanks for joining us, and today we are talking about insurance. Nobody likes insurance, it doesn't get anyone excited, but it's a necessary part of our life as tradespeople. Certainly as electricians, if you're running your own business, if you're self-employed, you need insurance. And I get a lot of messages from people asking me, where do you go to for your insurance? What type of insurance have you got? What cover have you got? And so I thought today I'll just make a video to share out to all those people who are looking for insurance and they feel a little bit lost. Hopefully you can see how I've done it and it can maybe help you on your journey to get your own insurance. Before we get into this, I'm not an insurance expert, I'm an electrician, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to share with you in this video how I've done it, how I've got my insurance and what kind of cover I've got. And if you are looking for insurance, I've got a great recommendation for a company who I've used who can give you expert advice and help you to see what insurance cover you need. So the first thing, I guess, what type of insurance do you need as an electrician? That's kind of the first question that we need to cover. The answer is that there are a few different types of insurance based on how your business works. The first one is probably the most important, and that is public liability insurance. So pretty much every self-employed electrician or electrician who's got their own company needs public liability insurance. What that is basically it covers you if you make a mistake and hurt somebody or damage somebody's property, your public liability insurance will cover you. Now, of course, we never go out to try and cause any damage or hurt anyone, but sometimes accidents do happen. And so we've got to kind of protect ourselves for the worst case scenario if something did go wrong. Because if we didn't have insurance, what could happen is a customer could sue you and that could be the end of your business basically. So public liability is like the number one that everyone pretty much needs if they're running their own self-employed or trades business. The second type of insurance that you need potentially is employer's liability insurance. And that is what the name suggests. If you're an employer, in other words, if you have people working for you, employees who are working on the tools doing manual labor, then you need to have an insurance in place that covers them. For example, if they get hurt on the job, if something goes wrong, you're covered, you're looking after your employees, then if anything goes wrong, it doesn't come back on you as a company and again, cause you a lot of financial stress. So employer's liability insurance is another one that most companies, especially larger trades companies, will need to get. The third one is professional indemnity insurance. What that is basically if you're giving your professional advice, if you're kind of offering some kind of consultancy work or you're giving professional advice that could cause the customer to lose money if your advice was wrong, that is where professional indemnity insurance comes in. So for us in a real life situation as electricians where this might be an issue is when we're doing EICRs. So we're offering a report on the condition of an electrical installation. So imagine you give a report that says that a customer's installation is not safe and therefore they need to get a lot of expensive work done to sort out the problems. Potentially it could be a business and you could almost have to condemn the business because you could say that the property electrics are not safe and they need to stop working while you get it all fixed. It could be a rental property that you condemn the electrics and that could damage their income as a rental property. If they wanted to contest your opinion about that, they could take you to court, sue you for giving your wrong professional opinion, and that is where professional indemnity insurance comes in. So if you are an electrician who is registered as part of the PRS scheme, the private rental sector scheme, which is this thing where in the last year all privately rented properties have to get an EICR done, then you need to have professional indemnity insurance to be part of that scheme, just because of the nature of the work. And basically if you're doing EICRs or offering any other kind of reports on people's installations, then professional indemnity insurance is definitely important. Another one that a lot of people don't get, but for me is really important, is tools insurance. So you've probably seen on social media, it's even been in the news, that tool theft is a massive problem at the moment and it's only getting worse and worse. There's this thing called peel and steal where they basically peel the side of your van open, jump in, take out all the tools, and they're gone within minutes with your whole livelihood. And I know several electricians who I follow on Instagram who this has happened to, and overnight they've lost all their tools and they can't work. It ruins people's lives. In fact, let me know in the comments, have you ever had your van broken into? Have your tools ever been stolen? I would love to know your stories in the comments, because I can imagine that a lot of you have had that situation. And if you have, were you insured or not? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. So ask yourself, what would you do in that situation if that happened to you? Would you be able to continue? Do you have the money aside to be able to buy all of your tools over again? Most of us don't. That's where tools in van insurance really comes in, because if that were to happen, if your van got robbed, your tools got taken, if you've got tools in van insurance, then that will cover you if the worst case situation did happen. We'll talk about sort of levels of cover and stuff like this, but there's a few things that you need to be careful of when selecting a insurance provider for tools in van insurance, because not all packages are the same. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. And the final one, number 5, tax inquiry insurance. What is that? Well, basically it's where if the taxman, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC, if they decide to investigate your business, which they can do at any moment, they can pick you as part of a random check. They will come in and they will want to go through all your paperwork, all your accounts and stuff, and that can take a lot of time. So imagine if you had to block out a whole week or 2 weeks to go through everything with them, you wouldn't be earning any money. So it's kind of covering you for loss of earnings if that situation were to happen. So tax inquiry insurance, another one that's probably worth getting, just covers you for that eventuality. The second thing we want to talk about is what level of cover do you need? Because there are so many different options. Public liability insurance starts, I think, at like £1 million, and it can go up to 10 million plus, I mean, depending on the size of your company. So what level of cover do you need? Well, if you're registered with an approved body like the NIC, EIC or NAPIT, they have a minimum base level of public liability insurance that you need to get. So for NIC, EIC, I believe it's £2 million public liability insurance. If you register with other organisations, like I think maybe Checker Trade or something like that, they need you to have, I think it's £5 million public liability insurance. Whatever the minimum is, if you want to join those schemes, that's the minimum that you need to get in order to cover your back. But just think about what is the worst case scenario based on the kind of jobs that you do. If it's domestic setting, it's very unlikely that you're going to cause £2 million worth of damage somehow in somebody's house, because the house is probably not worth that. But if you work regularly in very luxurious high-end properties with people having things around the house that are super expensive, like one of my customers has got a beautiful Steinway piano. Imagine if I, dropped a light fitting on that by accident. That's going to cost a lot of money to repair or replace. So you've got to think about your own work scenarios. If you're doing commercial or industrial work, you could quite easily cause several £1 million worth of damage if you made a mistake. So you might want to up your level of cover. But that's where really contacting an insurance provider and just talking to them about your situation, telling them your kind of work scenarios, that will help, because they'll be able to give you advice on the kind of level of cover that you need, so that you don't get too much cover, but you don't get too little. Same with employer's liability insurance. There are different levels of cover, so depending on how many employees you have and the type of work that you're doing, you want to up or lower that cover depending on your own needs. Professional indemnity insurance is the same, varying levels depending on what kind of scale jobs that you're doing. And tools in van, well, the level of cover that you need really depends on how many tools you've got in the back of your van. If you've got all really nice, expensive, brand new tools, then you might want to have £10,000 worth of tools in van cover. But what you need to really work out is how much would it cost me to replace all the tools that are in the back of my van on a day-to-day basis, and then get the according amount of cover. And it goes from like £500, £1,000 all the way up to 10,000, maybe even more than that if you need it. So that tools in van cover is quite easy for you to calculate, just based on how much would it cost you to replace all the tools in the back of your van. With tax inquiry insurance, it doesn't just cover you for your lost time having to sort out all the things with the HMRC, but it covers accountants' fees, it covers court fees if you have to get a professional to defend you if they find something that's not right in your accounts. So it covers a lot of that stuff, and it covers up to £50,000 of expenses that might be incurred with an investigation for your taxes. So that's kind of a pretty standard thing. There's not much thought that needs to go into that, other than, do I want to cover myself for that eventuality or not? Number 3 is the biggest question really, who to choose for your insurance, because there are so many providers out there who offer what seems to be the same thing, right? And so a lot of us as electricians, we're not insurance experts. We just know that we need a certain level of insurance and we need to get covered. But ideally, we want to get it as cheap as possible because, you know, it all adds to the overheads and costs of our business. But we have to be careful there because not every level of cover is the same. Not every company offers the same kind of service when it comes to insurance. So for me, I've chosen Rhino Trade Insurance. And the reason I chose them is because they are tradespeople themselves. The business owners who set up the company, they were tradespeople and they know what we really need as electricians and as other tradesmen when it comes to insurance. They know how to talk when you're on the phone with them, they understand where you're coming from, and they offer a comprehensive level of cover which a lot of providers might not offer. So for example, some providers, there are lots of loopholes that you don't really know about, and so when you actually get into a situation where you need to claim, you might find that you're not really covered as much as you thought you were. Rhino, I trust them. They're a company that offer a great service. One of the great things about Rhino Trade Insurance is you can just phone them up, you can tell them about your business, and they will design a bespoke package for your business that covers you for all the things that you need to have covered. So I've just renewed with Rhino Trade Insurance for the year, and I just went for the whole package. So I've got the public liability, the employer's liability, professional indemnity, legal cover as well, tools and van insurance, £10,000, and the tax. So I just went for the whole lot. But what was great is I just phoned them up, told them about my business, they created the package, and then straight away they send you all the documents digitally and you're covered immediately. It's super simple. And the other thing that's great about them is that if you can't afford to pay for the whole lump sum for a whole year in one go, you can split it over 12 months, so you can just pay it monthly, and it's just absorbed into your monthly costs of your business running, really. Another great thing about Rhino Trade Insurance when it comes to tools and van insurance is that they offer cover when you're on your driveway at night. If you look carefully at some other providers, they don't cover you for actually when your van is parked on the driveway at night. They only cover you for during normal working hours when you're maybe at a customer's house or when you're parked in the street or something. So you have to just watch out for that, because if you aren't careful, you might think that you're covered for your van sitting on your driveway at night, but you might not be. So definitely a great company to go with. If you are looking for insurance and you want to get a quote from Rhino Trade Insurance, head to the link in the description, because I've managed to secure a 10% discount with them for all my subscribers. So if you use the code ART10 when you contact Rhino either over the phone or via the internet, you will be able to get 10% off your insurance, which is a big chunk when it comes to the kind of insurance packages that you might be paying out for. So I hope that will be of benefit to you. So all in all, what are the benefits of having insurance and being well insured rather than just going with the bare minimum? Well, for me, I would say the main benefit is just peace of mind. There's nothing worse than waking up in the middle of the night because you hear a noise outside and you think, oh, is somebody breaking into my van? Am I about to lose my livelihood? Because, for example, tools and van insurance, if all your tools go, that could be it for your business if you've not got the money to replace them. Whereas if you're insured, it gives you that peace of mind so that even if the worst thing does happen, which you hope it doesn't, you're covered, you'll get taken care of, and you can carry on running your business, you can carry on earning a living. So for me, that's the main benefit of having insurance. And it's one of those things that you just hope you never have to claim on it, but it's there if you need it. So as tradespeople, we need it because we have to have it to run certain aspects of our business, but it also gives us peace of mind. It gives our customers peace of mind too. So, you know, if you can inform your customers that you've got all the relevant insurances in place, that you're well insured, they know that you're going to care for them well. If anything did go wrong, worst case scenario, everything's covered and they don't have to worry. So it gives them peace of mind too. There are other insurances that we've not had time to mention in this video, but Rhino offer those too. So for example, personal accident insurance and income protection, gadget insurance, stuff like that. Head to their website with a link in the description. You can check out all the various insurances that they offer, and they will have a phone call with you and talk through everything and make it super easy for you to decide. So I hope this video has been of benefit to you. If it has, don't forget to hit a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and if you hit the notification bell, then you won't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.